Welcome back to Anything Outdoors with Steve. I'm Daniel. Today I'm at my house in northeast Thailand, and per the request of some of our viewers, I'm going to do a walkthrough in my garden and give a basic overview of the trees that I have planted here. So this is going to be a video for people who are mostly interested in gardening and trees. All right, let's go take a look. This is the rice field across the street from my house. When I first bought the land to build our house on, this was a sugarcane field. Once we pulled the sugarcane out, the soil level was a little bit low, a little bit, swampy sometimes when it rained. So I brought in a lot of fill dirt, brought up the soil level a bit and leveled it out significantly. It was a bumpy mess when the sugarcane was here. Then before I built the house, see this, this is almost 3 years ago that we built this house. But a year prior to that, I started planting some of the trees here. The first trees that I planted on this land were these coconuts. These are not typical coconut trees. These are dwarf coconut trees. They don't get much taller than they are now. They're averaging somewhere between 12 to 20 feet, something like that tops. But the coconuts grow really low against the ground. We don't have any coconuts on them right now. We just cleaned them all off. But these were planted about 4 years ago. They started with just a little coconut sticking out of the ground with a little bit of a frond sticking out of it, and now they've grown this big. Some of them are, I think the biggest one is pretty close to 2 feet in diameter. I don't remember how many we planted. Seems to me like between here and in the back lot, maybe 15, 20 tops, something like that. This flowering bush, I'm not sure the name of this. My mother-in-law planted it, but I'm gonna get some more of these and plant them along this side of the road. I really like those, the yellow ones. This is another flowering plant that she planted. Don't know what these are. I'll have to find out, because as I said, I want some more of these. Here on the corner, this little guy is a tamarind. And he looks small and looks like it's struggling, but that's kind of what tamarinds look like. They're highly drought resistant and very slow growing, but eventually they get to be very tall trees. They produce a bean pod that has a sweet resin in it. It's hard to explain if you've never eaten tamarind before. The resin has the consistency of maybe ground up raisins or ground up dates, and a similar flavor to that, kind of a sweet ground up date paste. That's it, I think, the closest approximation I can really explain. But yeah, these are slow growing. This one's about, I think I planted this the same time I planted the coconuts right here. The coconuts are up to, some of them are 20 feet tall. And this little tamarind, he's still getting a slow start of things. Come on, man, pick it up. Now this last week here in the front, I planted a few more trees because it was basically just a grass lot. This is a mango tree, this brand new little guy. In 2 years, maybe 3 years from now, this should be producing fruit on a regular basis. Here's a mango that I planted 2 years ago, and this is how quickly it grew. This one has not produced fruit yet, but in time it shall. Last week I planted 2 pomegranate trees. Now, whether or not these pomegranates are going to grow, I couldn't tell you just yet. I'm assured by locals that they seem to do well here in Isaan. So I have a pair of them. We'll give them a try, see how they do. Keep giving them some water. And here in the front, yeah, I planted one more tamarind and a bunch of different types of mangoes. Not sure what variety of mangoes they are. I just got several different kinds of mangoes, and we'll try them out and we'll find out in the moment of truth which ones taste best. This is a lime tree. This little guy's a lime tree. I just planted that last week, and right next to it I planted his buddy so he won't be lonely. There's a lime tree. I can identify this lime tree as a lime tree by the lime. I'll probably pull that off because, you know, it's, other than a decoration, it's pointless at this time. We're not looking for fruit, we're looking to develop roots. If you've never smelled lemons or limes when they're in blossom, wow, you've missed something. It has a sweet, fragrant blossom aroma, and then the fruit itself, when you start getting some limes or lemons growing on the branches in the right weather conditions, it smells so fragrant. So later, inside of the perimeter of the house, I'm gonna plant a lot of potted plants, but right now there's nobody really that's wants to take care of it full time, and you can't blame them, so it's sparse inside of the perimeter. Here are more of coconuts that I planted 4 years ago. These have all fruited, but we tore all of the coconuts off and cleaned up the fronds so that we could start a fresh crop. This is a mango tree. Now this baby really took off. This is about 4 years. I planted this the same time as the coconut tree. This is, I'd say, my goodness, 10 feet tall, something like that. And word has it produces fantastic mangoes. That said, I've yet to eat any of the mangoes that grow on my trees because I'm never here at the right time of year. But I planted, I'd say, somewhere in the neighborhood of 20 mango trees on our land. So hopefully in the future I'll get to eat a mango off of that. My mother-in-law is growing some kind of a water plant that she feeds to her chickens. I'm not exactly sure what that is or why the chickens would like it, but apparently they do, and there it is. Here's another lime tree that I planted last week. I think that I have 3 lime trees in total. If they do well, I think that I'll plant more. Maybe see if I can find the lemon too, because it's a very useful fruit, and aside from thorns. I think the trees grow thorns, but I don't see any thorns on these. We'll see how the jury's out on that. We'll see how they do. Here's another mango tree. It's about 4 years old. This is doing well and fruits very well. Here's another one planted exactly at the same time, but didn't do quite as well as the other. When I first planted trees in this, before we even built the house, I planted all kinds of trees back here, knowing that a significant number of them would die. I'd say about half of them died, but those that remained seem to be doing quite well. Last week I came in and put a few more mangoes. What's this one? In Chinese, lychee, a lychee tree. Lychee trees. We have the mangoes that we planted along this side. All seem to be doing all right. Have another pomegranate planted here. This is a mango, another mango. You might be thinking, what the hell are you doing with all these mango trees? Well, I like mangoes. That's the main reason. If you're going to have trees, aside from the shade, it's nice to have something that produces fruit. This is another mango that I planted 4 years ago. It is doing well. Hopefully the trees that I planted last week will thrive as this has. Here's another tamarind. This poor guy has had a very difficult start of things. Even for a tamarind, it looks like it's not had the most successful start, but we're not going to give up. We'll see. Hang on another 40 years, we'll check it out. Here's another tamarind that we planted exactly the same time. This seems to be doing a little bit better. It's actually growing fairly quickly for tamarind. I'd say it's about, well, it's a foot or two taller than me, so 7 feet plus. Here's another tamarind. Now tamarinds they might be slow growing, and the first time you taste the resin in the bean pods, it might not be for everybody, but I'm actually fond of them. So these are papaya trees, these little guys, and these are pretty new papaya trees. These are about a year old. These are about 2 years. The papayas do really well in Isaan. You'll get more papayas than you ever wanted to have. I'm honestly not a big fan of papayas, green or ripe, but people from Isaan, they cut up green papaya and make a spicy papaya salad that, well, it's not for everybody. Back here, this is a banana tree. This is not a very old banana tree, maybe a couple of years. And this is an older one. This is 4 years. I planted it when I first bought this land, and it is, my goodness, what are we, 15, 18 feet high, something like that. And they regularly produce bananas. We get a lot of really good bananas. Now the flavor of the bananas are different than the ones you get in the US or Europe. Typically, the Chiquita bananas, they're shorter and have a different flavor to them. Planted bananas all along this fence. We have way more bananas than we can ever eat. We we eat and we share. Speaking of, here's what these little bananas look like. These are obviously not quite ready to eat yet. We'll walk along and see if we can find some that are. There's some more bananas. Go along Banana Row here. I'm not sure how many banana trees we have planted on this property. I'd say easily 100 banana trees, way more bananas than I'll ever eat. But the idea is to have sufficient for our needs, our future needs, and all the neighbors. You want to share, produce a little bit and share. These are more papayas. These have already been cranking out some fruit. Oh, I see a papaya over here. Let's go look at this papaya over here. It actually has papayas on it. So, I built this house, built a garden house for relatives to stay in and people that are working on the farm to come and have air conditioning and indoor plumbing, but they still erected this hut. I'm honestly not a big fan of that, but what are you gonna do? When in Rome. I don't care. I guess it kind of has some character, right? So there are some papayas. Those babies are doing all right. That's what a papaya looks like. These are not, I'd say these are another month away from being ready to pick. Well, from being ripe. The Isaan people, they like to pick these green, chop them up. They have kind of a, I don't know, maybe like a cucumbery texture and flavor to them, a green papaya. There's another one right here. They chop them up and put spicy pepper on them and make papaya puck puck. So this is a traditional Isaan style garden house. I don't know that I'm a big fan of it being here, but what you gonna do? Go with the flow, I suppose. I guess it has a certain kind of rustic charm about it. Very functional. If you go to any Thai farm, this is the kind of hut that you'll find. A lot of the people, this is, they'll sleep in here too. They put up hammocks and that's where they live and sleep, but not here. Nobody has to live here, sleep here. And in fact, for that purpose, I have extra rooms in the house and enough bathrooms. But we put in this garden house too. This garden house has plumbing and air conditioning, and it's not the lap of luxury, but it's a pretty good little spot to hang out. And my wife's nephew, he likes hanging out here. He prefers sleeping here to sleeping in the house. Not sure, to each his own, I suppose. Maybe he feels like he's in his own little kingdom. I have no idea what kind of trees these are. I did not plant them. Didn't plant them. But they're fast growing, whatever they are. Some kind of shade tree, I presume. All right, let's go back and look in the garden. The garden per se, not just the yard. There's another mango tree. Have a bunch of those. Here's a different kind of papaya than the ones we just looked at. These are a little bit closer to being ready to harvest. We have all kinds of papayas on this piece of land. Couldn't tell you how many trees we have, but there's enough to supply the the relatives with an ongoing supply of papayas to make papaya puck puck. There's another one. That's a pretty typical size. Wow, here's some that are really, really plump. Look at these guys. Yeah, you could use those as a lethal weapon. Look at that size of that thing compared to my hand. Great big. I've seen them as big as bowling balls. I don't know what it does to the texture when they get that big, but yeah, this is just right for making papaya puck puck. I don't know that the papayas in Isaan ever make it to the point of being ripe, because people in Isaan like to pick them and turn them into papaya puck puck too quickly. Oh, we have some. These are Thai peppers called prickinu peppers. They are small, but holy crap, they are spicy. You bite into one of those babies, you know you've found a pepper. I don't get back here that much. This is we form the border of the garden area with these banana trees. There's another coconut. Holy shit, those things are giant. We planted those. Wow, look at the base of this thing. That's 2.5 feet easy, and that's, holy crap, that's 25 feet high, and that's a dwarf. Wow, that one really grew. One of these years I'm going to time a visit to Thailand when I have coconuts ready to pick and eat, because I really like coconuts. Cutting the end off with a machete and drinking the milk out of it and scraping the fresh coconut meat out of it. Yum, yum. Here's some more banana trees. More banana trees. Coconut tree. Oh, bamboo. I had no idea. I didn't know we had bamboo back here. I was planning on planting some. Looks like I don't have to now. We'll let that, I think we'll just let that grow into the corner of this plot and fill in. I like the sound of bamboo when the wind's blowing through them. On this, here's more coconuts along the back of the garden. These are not quite as big, but I'm pretty sure we planted them all at the same time. There's another papaya tree. Coconuts, bananas, papayas. I don't know what these are. Have to ask my mother-in-law. Don't know what these are either. A lot of bananas, a lot of papayas, a lot of mangoes. Well, perhaps I should change my introduction to, I'm going to give you an overview of the banana, coconut, papaya, and mango trees in my yard. That seems to be the prevalence. I'm going to plant some other things later when I'm here, but I just sort of planted what I knew would grow, what I knew would produce fruit. Oh, here's some more bananas. Let's go check these babies out. Well, that's exciting. So that these bananas, they don't get much bigger than this. Maybe 4 inches, 3-4 inches long, something like that. And then they turn yellow, and they're sweet, and it takes a bit of getting used to, but I'm acclimated to the taste. And now these, sometimes they grow a little bit out of reach, so you need a ladder or something to get up to them, but nothing crazy. You don't have to go shimmying up the coconut tree to to get coconuts here. You don't have to climb very high to get bananas. All right, and we are looking over the chicken house. Let's take a look at the chicken house. Now, chicken house, I'm not a big fan of the craftsmanship of this chicken house. I'm gonna, when I finally move here, I will definitely build a, let's say, more sophisticated and aesthetic chicken run. I don't know how many chickens are in here. Chickens, are you in here, guys? You here? Did you get breakfast? Huh? Did you get breakfast? Where's the chickens? Hey guys. Hey guys. Just a minute, I'll go get something for you. Just a minute, buddies. Let me go. Okay, just a minute. All right, now I've done it. I have awoken the chickens from their respite. I'm gonna go and find something to give the chickens. I'm sure they've already had their breakfast, but have they had second breakfast? That's the real question. That is the real question. And I'll make sure that they have. All right, I know that the chickens have had their breakfast already. However, so that I can assuage my own guilt for having potentially hungry chickens, feed them a little bit of sticky rice and a couple of mangoes. I doubt that it'll go very far. It looks like there's got to be 15-20 chickens in there, so somebody's going to get rewarded. Somebody's not. Somebody's going to go without. Have to wait for real chicken feed. Okay, chickens. Where'd you go, guys? Where'd you go? Hey, buddies. What's going on? Huh? Hey, chickens. Here you go, buddies. Made short work of that. Wow. Wow. Wow, they made short work of that little bowl of sticky rice. Remind me not to fall in there. You'd be half eaten by the time they realized they were biting the hand that feeds them. All right, well, thanks for taking this tour. I genuinely would appreciate any feedback that people have regarding on what they think I should do with or plant in my garden. I have a few people that are very enthusiastic gardeners, it would seem, and have already given me really good ideas, including, you know, the idea for carrying a camera around and taking some video to share with other people. I wouldn't have thought about that otherwise. So yeah, sharing is caring. All right, thanks for watching my video. Please like the video and subscribe to Steve's channel. Steve is going to be flying to Bangkok tomorrow, and I'm going to go down. So Niece and I, we're going to go down and pick him up at the airport. We're going to take him down to Krabi, to southern Thailand, and we're going to go and do some adventures down there. We're going to be getting that on GoPro, and we'll share that with you too. All right, bye-bye.